Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guide 365, and today I'm going to review the exclusive 4K Steelbook of Disney's Tangled. Channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos every single day. You can also find me over Twitter and Instagram at Movie Guide 365, as well as over at the Disney Magic Hour podcast. I will leave a link for that in the description. All right, so the next wave of Disney animated titles to hit 4K is here. So we're going to start with Tangled today. And as a huge fan of this film, I couldn't be more excited. Just the thought of what 4K HDR can do to the picture was very intriguing to me. So I couldn't wait to dive into this. And as far as the film itself goes, I'm a big fan of it. I saw it in the theaters. I'm a big fan of anything Disney. And of course, Tangled was actually the first movie I saw in 3D since Avatar. So that's kind of a memorable thing for me. I also still own the 3D Blu Ray, which I'll give you a little bit of A and B comparisons at the end of the video. But yeah, I love the movie. I think it's a fantastic film. So let's not waste any time. We're going to talk about the picture quality and audio, but first let's do a quick unboxing of the Steelbook. All right, we have Tangled here. Available in 4K as a Best Buy exclusive Steelbook. I think a really nice cover overall. On the back here, poor Flynn just kind of hanging around, you know. And then we do have our spine, and we pop this open. There's a really nice disc art overall. I really dig these interior artworks. So I feel really looks nice. It's one of the best scenes in the film. We got the nice lanterns effect, so looks great, awesome. Let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. So clearly the thing about movies like Tangled and animation movies in general is they can be very subtle differences as far as hitting that right stride. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that I always thought the Blu Ray looked fantastic. I never had any issues with the Blu Ray. It was always vibrant and colorful. And of course, the 3D is a completely different animal, which we'll talk about in just a few moments. But yeah, so movies like this can be really significant upgrades, or they can be sort of, kind of middle of the ground upgrades. When I went back to the animated Lion King, really it all comes down to things like, what HDR, and unfortunately we don't get Dolby Vision with Disney discs anymore, but what HDR can really add to the image. Because typically, just a 4K upscale over 2K, especially on an animated, is not going to look significantly different. It's what that HDR does that I feel is really your selling point. Now, Tangled looks fantastic. It really does. I feel the HDR adds just enough to really give you that extra added benefit. I mean, it's such a colorful movie. Everything from the lantern scene, which is also a staple in the 3D, look amazing here. Just the colors, and Pascal looks really great. He bounces off the screen as far as vibrancy goes, and just anything and everything looks really good. The scene with Mother Gothel, when she's holding the lantern, and also later in the film when she confronts Rapunzel, those are really things that give you that extra oomph with the HDR. Now, as far as in comparison to things like the 3D, of course the 3D is going to add that extra layer to it, and it really is it takes that nice vibrancy from the standard Blu-ray and umps it to give you that immersive feeling. So, really picking and choosing which version you would go with is really going to be dependent on you. But I feel that the HDR for 4K fans and collectors of the format, yes, I feel that this picture-wise is a significant bump up over the Blu-ray. It really shows. You can just easily do an A and B comparison and tell that HDR gives you that extra money. It makes your money worthwhile, in my opinion. Audio-wise, we're given a Disney Atmos track. We all know the story of Disney Atmos tracks, but in case you're not familiar with it, they tend to mix these things on a little bit on the low side. Tangled, unfortunately, is no exception. It's just the way it is. It's just, I don't feel it is an overly aggressive track. It's only when the music kicks in, the musical cues, that you really kind of notice it. But you still have to crank up your volume a few notches if you really want to kind of get a little extra loudness to your overall experience. It's just not an aggressive track to begin with, as I said, but it still has a very nice immersive sound stage. It's really good. Surround sounds sound great. I think while the quality is questionable due to the low levels, what we get as far as how it is presented, I feel is better than we got on the Blu-ray. I think the Atmos really adds something. As I said, you just have to crank up your volume for the most part. Front channels sound great. center. Everything is clear, easy to understand people's dialogue, and there's a fair amount of immersive surround sound. It's not overly prominent, but it's there. You really have to be listening for it. But when things start kicking in, like music and a little bit of action on screen, that's when you really get that good surround sound. And LFE does what it needs to do. It's not overly aggressive. It comes in just as appropriate times. So yeah, I mean, as far as rating the disc, I'm going to go ahead and rate this one an A-. I think overall the picture quality is good. It's not, it's not benchmark, but I think for animation it is really, really good. It's right up there. And of course we got to give it a little ding for the audio, but I think overall it's a very good package. Now, if you're a 3D fan and you're wondering, should you upgrade? It's funny, I see these comments all the time. It's like, I'm never going to replace my 3D or something like that. You don't need to replace it. You can complement it. If you're fortunate enough to have a TV or some ability to watch 3D, then you can still own your 3D disc. And if you have 4K, this is a good upgrade over a standard 2D image. So I think you can kind of win. For me personally, as far as viewing, I think I would go back and forth. I think one time I would watch it in 3D and then I would watch it in 4K the next. But that's how I would do it with standard 2D Blu Ray. I would just, not all the time watch it in 3D, but just kind of go back and forth. It adds a variety to your home theater experience. And I think a lot of people would agree. It's just, if you can do both, do both. There's no reason to give up one for the other, but I think it's a good disc overall. Absolutely recommend it. So let me know in the comments below if you picked up Tangled in 4K and what your thoughts were. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos every single day. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.